Hello, Capricorn. Welcome to my dark room where we're talking about January 2026, your sign, your horoscope. Listen for sun, moon, and rising, and you'll get the most out of it when you're listening to these videos. Sun is your career and purpose, moon is your home and emotions and feelings about life. And of course, the rising sign is the avatar in the simulation. So all three are useful to listen to. And this is going to be a month in which you're going to find a beginning of a massive transformation in personal identity or career or in your home life and where you live, based on whether you're listening today for career and identity, Capricorn sun, career, Capricorn sun, home and life, Capricorn moon, or if you Capricorn risings, anything about your identity and any part of your life. Massive changes beginning in the month of January. Now, the other thing I want you to know about is nothing happens overnight, but the pivot is turning, the wheel is turning, and single Capricorns looking for a relationship could find new love coming into their life. New romance can come your way. We're going to break it down week by week for your sign. And if you're new here, welcome. My name is Lori Lothian. We're using the Western Tropical Zodiac. I need to buy a desk light for my desk because my ring light won't fit against the window. And so bear with this weird lighting. If you want to time your best life, you want to time your best 2026. Catch the wave of my 2026 individual and all signs bundle. You can get the all 12 signs, 2.5-hour videos with PDF guidebook for only $55 during the month of December. It's for sale. It's in my description box. If you want to instead choose to get just your one sign, you can do that as well for only $22. Check it out below. That sale is supposed to end at the end of December, but I might let it go through January because people are telling me about their money stresses in my clients and in my, people I see, and I get it. It's not a great time financially for most people. Let's go ahead. Let's bring the chart up. And I'm going to say, bear with me if I sound weird or croaky. I did get that weird flu thing. I'm over it now, but it's now I still have my throat going and a tickle in my throat. Here's Capricorn. This is what you look like. This is the glyph for your sign. There's a Cap sun right there. There's an ascendant, and the moon, of course, is over here, but could have been here. So we're going to listen as if your sun, moon are in the first house. That's what we do, called derived houses. But otherwise, we're listening for Capricorn ascendants. And let's get breaking it down week by week. We start the month with Mercury out of dignity, where he tends to embellish or confuse the situation, lack of detail, sometimes lying. Mercury is in Sagittarius and he's squaring Neptune as we begin New Year's Eve and the day after. In essence, there's something about this Neptune square, Mercury square Neptune. It could be deceptive. It could be confusing. It could be uncertain. It could be information or news from someone who lives in a distant shore or far off land. And it connects to travel. And it can be very, very confusing information or conversations or something going on with probably travel and the far off distant shores and lands as key words. And Mercury also rules the South Node in the house of foreign lands. It won't last long. I'd say 2 days before, like December 30th, 31st, and January 1st, and then it's over. But if you were planning travel, you might have some situations where things are very confusing for some reason. Then we move forward and we move to January 2nd, and Mercury will spend a lot of time in Capricorn, your sign. Now, one thing about that, and he'll be invisible, but he'll be here January 1st to the January 20th. You might be thinking a lot. You might be coming up with ideas. You might be concocting plans in your mind. You're thinking and scrutinizing what's up. You got to figure it out. And with Mars, what direction you want to go in, and Venus, what direction you want to go in regarding themes of love and money, or in Venus's mind, career, love, money, and career, and scrutinizing it, or love, money, and romance, fifth house. And so a lot of your mind is absorbed with these questions starting in January 2nd through until January the 20th. The biggest thing that's happening in the month of January by far are two rare conjunctions, Venus with the sun and Mars with the sun. These are reset buttons that unfold over months, not days, but they're so significant. And you will see clues as to what they're for, first of all, and you can use them to harness luck. Where Venus is joining the sun and where Mars is joining the sun, the days this happens, January 6th, I'll get to it in a minute, and 9th, I'll explain it, are fortunate days for certain actions and movements. I'll get down to that in a sec. There's a new moon, January 3rd, full moon, January 3rd, in your marriage house with Jupiter. business clients, customers, audience, marketplace, marriage, business partners, a fulfillment of a seed you planted here 6 months ago, June and July. What did you plant? Because you did plant a seed back on a new moon. Now there's a fulfillment of that seed. Part of the seed could be that's fulfilling, could be a completion, an ending, or whatever, a closure of a relationship, especially with Jupiter retrograde, or there may be a fulfillment of a relationship potential with somebody from your past, Jupiter's retrograde. And the moon will be conjunct Jupiter more or less. So it's a very blessed and one of the most powerful new moons of the year. And Jupiter's taking orders from the full moon. The lunation is the boss of him. And you may be also fulfilling a new relationship that requires you to travel or change your city or your neighborhood. These are ruler of your third house, and maybe to a distant land or far offshore. From where you currently live. It doesn't have to be foreign. It could also just be the other side of your country, but there's some changes there that Jupiter would like to bring, but likely in relationship to another person, specifically a committed relationship and essentially a relationship thing. Now, it will unfold over 6 months, but look at around January 3rd and then maybe the 2 to 3 weeks that follow for the themes I've mentioned playing out. Moves, love, romance, travel, distant lands and shores are all possible. On January the 6th, Venus co-joins the sun, and she's going to do it right here in your sign, and she's going to do it once every 4 year reset button in your love story. If your Capricorn sun or moon or rising is close to 16 degrees within 3 of either side, is pretty epic and monumental in its impact for you. But it still affects all the Capricorns, right? And you want to say, it's like, I'm resetting my life as it connects to matters to do with money and love. And yet you've been doing this every 4 years, right? It was happening in 2010, 2014, 2018, 2022, same time of year, more or less. And then you would let it roll out for 4 more years. The key here is it's the first 9.5 or so months that it really shows up for you as a sort of the table of contents in the book of the 4 years ahead. So you'll notice by October of this 2026 what this reset button offers you. On the day of the reset, January the 6th, you can use that to do things that are important, especially with Mercury, an important conversation about money or love or romance. Not a bad day to put yourself into the situation where you might want to take a job interview because of Mercury's placement. And you know, there's something going on where you could very well take a call or take an interview or book an interview to increase your likelihood of success in a job. That day that you take the call or book this thing or reach out for the job, apply for the job, audition for the job, so to speak, an auspicious day for any of that stuff is January the 6th. It's also an auspicious day to send an email or text message or phone a love partner or go on a first date. Those are awesome things to do as well on January the 6th. Like it's an election. You're baking in the powerful positive energy of Venus purifying herself in the sun's heart. And she is ruled by Saturn in a travel house. So there may be an onset of travel as she comes out the other side of the sun sometime after January 6th as well. Maybe travel for romance or travel for career and professional reasons. But it's a deeper story, and you want to go back to, as I said, go back to like January of 22 through to the fall, maybe till October. What major things happened here? What impacts did it have on your life? Capricorn sun is likely to impact your career, but maybe also other areas of your life. And Capricorn moon, home and where you live. So you want to go back and compare notes. You can also go back to 2018, add 10 months. January of 18, add 10 months. Now, you'll notice that as we move forward, Mars is going to do the same thing. Before he gets to the perfect solar conjunction on the 9th, you'll notice that the cosmic lovers are merging in your house. If you're a Cap rising, it could be like an inner merger of the masculine and feminine within you, or a desire for something that brings you joy or pleasure, and the beginning of a seed of right action and directionality about how to acquire that. You know, you might have an idea about what direction, what decisions to make in order to acquire a cherished thing that you want, in either in your career or your romantic life, according to this chart. And greater career gains as well, and perhaps even a change of home. So relationship, career, change of home, new beginning, what you want, what you desire, Venus, the actions and decisions you need to make and take to acquire it. That's what is being seeded here on January 8th. It will unfold over our weeks or so, a year at the very least. So it's not a one and done, but you'll see the momentum there. You'll begin to feel momentum towards those things, especially in March, when Mars will be a visible planet rising in your house of travel. Likely March into April, you're changing your neighborhood or you're traveling quite a bit from where you currently live. Or you're starting to study or take a skills-based educational path. Now, if you notice the next day, Mars will co-join. Boom, Mars will co-join the sun at 19 degrees of Capricorn. Of course, your sun, moon, and rising, either those placements are at 19 degrees. It's a pretty freaking powerful movement for you. Because the last time Mars reset his life and started all over as a purified version of himself, being born again in your first house, was way back in 1994 and 95. It happened at the end of December, of 1993, but basically means all of calendar year 94, 95 were informed by a reset in your identity, rising, career, sun, if you're sun, Capricorn sun, your career and purpose, or your moon, a relationship to your mom, by the way, and sun is dad, Capricorn sun, relationship to your dad reset in 94, 95. Or 94, 95, reset your relationship to your moon, which can be your home or your mother and your emotions. So those reset buttons happened there in your sign back then, and also happened in 1979 to 1980, all through those 24 months. So here we are again. This will be applying through all of 26 and 2027. It's not a one and done, but you get the first seed planting. It's a good day for an election, meaning choosing an action or decision that you might make that's going to be very auspicious. Action and decisions, as Mars is banking on headquarters divine intelligence to get the right direction going, is a good thing. You can make major life decisions or actions regarding long-term significant love. Jupiter is witnessing everything from that house regarding where you want to live and home and domestic life matters, and regarding also career gains and long-range goals, plans and dreams for your life. Wow. I hope I'm not coming down with another flu. So there's a lot going on that day. If I was to use this energy, because Mars exalts you, he's an exaltation here. It's also with direction from Saturn. If you plan to move, it's about which neighborhood or city. If you plan to travel, it may be a good day to book a ticket or firm up the plans through actions and decisions, right? It might be a good day to make some moves about decisions you want to make regarding long-term committed love, especially with people from your past, Jupiter's retrograde. And finally, about career gains and career friendship. Or you could even make decisions to travel in order to see a friend as well. Those are other options here. But things you choose on that day, January 9th, are baking in a very powerful and positive energy for you. So decisions and actions chosen and taken on January 9th are positive. That said, Mars will be moving through your Capricorn sky, the sign that belongs to you, right? He started there on December 15th, and he stays there until January 22nd. Means the first 3 weeks of January, you might be more decisive, more aggressive, maybe more angry, maybe more determined regarding things that you're focusing on in your life. And don't forget, as we look at January 9th, there is a square to Chiron. Healing chironic wounds around your childhood, or about feeling like you don't belong in where you live, are highlighted here on the 9th as well, through until the end of his stay here on January the 22nd. Certainly, decision-making activation, like Mars cuts, ends, and severs, and you know what you want and don't want. You're willing to cut away and decide and act in a very superior way. Now, what happens next is that this triple stellium is going to lounge in your first house. It's very rare. Let me know how it feels to be living through that. But as we move forward out of this kind of solar reset, solar reset, solar reset, solar reset, we're going to move to the 14th, and we begin a 10-day period of incredible ease and luck. Don't we all need it? And that's going to be because we see this little blue luck triangle. Now, This thing brings ease, flow, goodness, and luck. In your case, you could win the lottery or win a ticket or come into unexpected financial winnings because of Uranus is a part of the triangle and Venus is a money goddess in refined Capricorn. So material positive resources, if it's about unexpected, surprising winning of money. And that could include a speculative stock investment. The sun rules the markets up here, and this is the house of a risky speculation, gambling, that kind of thing. Sometimes we gamble on a risky stock. But, whatever's going on here, it looks good for the luck and resources, luck and money. And it's going to be January 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. Okay, 14th to the 17th. And because we also have an epicenter mini pointing at the third house, incredible luck and shock and surprise could come through your chart connected to winning money from a local lottery, a local gaming situation, like a casino in your environment, unexpected and surprising positive opportunities for travel connected to siblings, connected to romantic journeys and leisure travel and romantic trips. And, well, you could get some unexpected opportunities to succeed beyond your wildest dreams with a viral hit in your social media sphere. Those are options as well. Now, Venus is going to do that from about the 14th to the 17th, and then she's going to leave that story and she's going to move into your second house, where she's going to apply herself to your money situation, earnings, and facial beautification and dental work if needed. And she'll be in your second house, focused on those stories already, January 17th to February 10th. And so now she's with Pluto building up a wealth yoga. You could take possession of more wealth than you normally have. This could be because you're coming off of winning some money. But if it's not that, it's just meaning that you've got a bit of a nice touch around possessions, money, luxury, royalty, wealth. Something good is trying to happen here. It's not the most powerful wealth yoga. You get one a year till 2044 because Venus and Pluto aren't really hooking up with any contributing planets. So I can't say that it's anything more than a really nice couple of days, January 17th to about the 20th, for feeling good on the financial front or beautifying your face with a massive transformation, like a pretty significant one. Maybe going into like plastic surgery recovery or something for a couple of weeks. Why do they call it plastic surgery? Like that's the old name. Now it's called cosmetic. You used to call it plastic surgery in the old day. Plastic. Okay, moving on. The sun is now playing the role that Venus was, and the sun is picking up the slack. And you'll see the sun activating all of this between the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th of the month, as the sun now also applies to the surprise and to the travel and to the social media and to the siblings and all of that. Well, the sun is also the ruler of your chunky money house. So, and that's the sudden wins and exciting speculative gains. And so all said and done, I'm going to suggest that it is possible that there's something going on in your life that you could be coming into some financial fortune or good luck. Okay. And the sun would say, it comes in a chunk. Right? Here's your check. And with Jupiter, bless his soul, witnessing the whole thing, you could get unexpected chunky money coming to you from a significant long-term marriage partner or a spouse from the past or long-term partner from the past. That's what Jupiter's doing here in his retrograde. And it could involve alimony and spousal support and you coming out on top as well. Maybe something going on about that too, elimination of debts or restructuring, or you get the money and you're happy. Now, as we continue forward and we see that next, hallelujah. All right. I forgot to mention the new moon in your sign on the 18th. New beginnings, fresh starts, up to 6 months later, cosmic reset of who you think you are, ruled by Saturn in the neighborhood, change of home in the new neighborhood, lots of travel to places that feel karmically connected to places you've been before, a lot of foreign land journeys, and reset a new moon that puts you into a area of life where you want to write. A lot of writing can happen in the next 6 months after this new moon, because Saturn rules it from the writing and the imaginal realms and the mystical mindset of Neptune, right? So there's a kind of like creative writing, mystical, artistic diligence and perseverance for writing projects, as well as social media aspects of your life over the course of the 6 months. It follows a primary reset in your sky, right? Your Capricorn reset. So Capricorn moon, right? Reset of what you do in the home life, and Capricorn sun, your ambitions for career and purpose, and Capricorn ascendant, just anything about your reality is being reset here in identity. And then what you do with it, right? Communicate, market, sell, teach, learn, travel in the 6 months that follow. And some of you will move your neighborhood, right? This is a house of neighborhood, and Mars is there, kind of looking on with the whole story. So from the new moon, so change of neighborhood, change of city, relocation, perhaps. In the 6 months that follows a new moon, but you look for evidence in the first 30 days after that this is true. Finally, we move into Lori's voice is going. It sure is, guys. I'm losing my voice. We're going to notice that we have the sun that moves also into the second house. And you notice that the first half of the month is all about you, Capricorn. Now it's all about your money, your resources, your face, your dietary habits, your speech, right? So you become very focused in this energy field of second house matters from the 20th to the end of the month, right? Now you've got your eye on the money for some reason. This is 12th house from your Saturn, and that could mean more expenses. So it's possible that you're coming into expenses that you weren't anticipating coming through your sky as we move to the last 10 days of the month. All right. I have to note that for you. Now, the mini trine that starts to form. Oh, what am I talking about? I just did that. Did I do that? Yes. No, I didn't. So we were talking about everybody picking up a piece of the mini trine, right? And now we have Mercury doing it. So around January 20th, news, information, phone calls, text messages, conversations, Mercury, children. This could be hearing that one of your children is pregnant, for example, or that, one of your children is pregnant, or that you're pregnant and you're telling your partner, that kind of thing here. Some excitement around travel, and maybe Mercury rules protector of travelers, but that would be like tickets, issuing tickets, or unexpected travel opportunities, and maybe some connection here as well as unexpected work opportunities, because Mercury rules your 6th house of job and work. Okay. Or unexpected opportunities and surprising news regarding travel and foreign lands as well. Mercury rules this part of your chart. And then Mercury joins the stellium here, January 21st. He's going to be in the heart of the sun, positive day. You want to do something to do with money, that's good, right? This is a good day to book your plastic surgeon or your dentist for sure, for positive outcomes for face and teeth, second house. This is a great day for doing something with a wealth yoga, with finances. It could involve the following themes: buying a stock, buying an investment, selling a property, selling an asset, possessing, buying something you need. You can even buy a car under this, but whatever, buy, sell, possess, money, earnings, and investments, and choosing the day as auspicious. Whether you're doing any of those things, the day is blessed. Okay. And also having an important conversation on that day, because it's a speech, right? Can be with anybody. That even if it's a Zoom conversation, if you're talking, the day of the 21st is the day of using that energy to have that important conversation to get the best results for everyone involved. Otherwise, it's a 6-week reset in how you handle your dietary habits and your money habits. Okay. Money, dietary, spending, earnings, resources, reset button, new directions. Up to 6 weeks, it will unfold. It will be in mid-February that Venus will be visible, but she will no longer be in the sign of Aquarius. After February 10th, she moves into your 3rd house, exalts you there, but it could begin to show up as new directions that are very positive and stable with your money after February 10th. But you're planting all kinds of seeds here, especially if you want to get a new job. This could be your interview period, coming into the interview, speaking well. Something wants to happen here as well. In the 6 weeks that follows Mercury's ingress here and solar conjunction Cazimi on January 21st. I'm doing a Cazimi webinar and a Mars webinar. Information about those are in my description box. The Mercury one is free. Now, it's always free on my Mercury Cazimis. Now we're moving forward. Excuse my voice. And we're going to talk about Mars. Mars is finishing up this beautiful mini grand trine. Don't forget, everyone had a turn. And if you go back a little bit, just a bit before this, right here, it's kind of like Mars and Mercury are collaborating around the 19th, 20th to make this triangle happen. So actions and decisions through speaking or communicating are very focalized with positive and even wealth results. If you're going to win money, you're winning a bit of money because Algol is a wealth star, quite a bit of money, I'd say. May not come directly to you. Jupiter can be a significant other in your life as well, including a sibling 3 older than you, and money coming to you unexpectedly. Now, Mars will finish up the triangle, take those actions, make those decisions the best you can in following through with everything that's already happened. Mars is also the ruler of the Lord of your self, exaltation Lord. But he's a primary ruler of the house of property and home, right? So, and he can witness it as he opens up this luck. This could be a kind of vibe of like, especially with Mercury here, something like, trining the rental house, signing a lease, taking action, making a decision around renting your own property out or signing leases, or property and lease and travel and move and decisions and actions and follow through will be very evident for you around this time. I'd say I give it from about the 19th to the 23rd of January. And then Mars joins the parade of planets in your second house. These are all invisible. We can't see them in our sky because they're all under the beams of the sun. But nonetheless, the weight is on possessions, earnings, speech. Depends on what you're doing with it, changing your dietary habits, revising your facial appearance, especially Mars, like injectables, dermabrasion, severing, cutting, scalpels. I don't like him invisible. I'm not sure I would do any surgeries when he's invisible, but it doesn't mean you can't plan for them or book them or arrange them. But when Mars is invisible, you might have some results you didn't expect to see. So he will be a visible planet again. March 17th. Maybe invisible means secret plastic surgery. You're not telling anybody, and that could be all that is. Or cosmetic improvements to your face or teeth. Because your face, he's in the house of your face, but he's invisible, right? So the surgery is being hidden, is what I'm trying to tell you. And Mars is very much about his longer stay in your second house. He'll be here January 23rd to March the 2nd. He's really about you making some action and decision plans around your money story, right? Money in home, money in work, money in job, just money in spending. Again, sometimes Mars is like a hole in the pocket. I hate to say it. And you may have some expenses coming through that you didn't anticipate. So you'll be spending more money, but some of it looks like it's okay to spend more money because a lot of this has got a Venusian overlay, a Venusian blessing. And in fact, Mars and Venus will be in your second house together for quite a bit of time. So until Venus will be here until February 10th. So January 17th to February 10th. So I'd say the 23rd to February 10th, the 23rd of March, the 23rd of March to the 10th to yes. No, sorry. Let me start all over again. I apologize. It's a long day. Sorry, guys. What I'm trying to tell you is that when the two of them are together here, there's something very powerful about how you want to spend or buy or sell and have some protection from Venus, okay? Like a warranty or something. So the good time for major expenditures, spending, maybe selling something you own and everything working out the best possible way is between January 17th, when Venus enters here, and Mars joins her on January 23rd. So January 23rd to February 10th. January 23rd to February 10th. Spending money, buying and selling things, protection Venus. Okay. Now, Mars is going to bump into Pluto. You're going to feel this like a Jaws episode from the movie. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to feel it coming in. Mars and Pluto. Wow. It's kind of intense because it could indicate some major transformation going on in your dietary style, like cutting and rebirthing your diets and having a whole new transformation and starting something completely different, like veganism. But on the other hand, it could be something up to do with your face, right? So there can major change of how you look or how your teeth look, time for some, veneers, time for, maybe teeth have to be pulled under this thing. It's intense. On the other hand, it's unstoppable and determined energy connected to money. So you might have a real kind of drive, ambition, and determination that's unstoppable to apply yourself to money matters in a way that is like intense. And because it flows to your work and your career stories, it could be a very determined time around money and career matters. But if you're fighting over money with anybody, inheritance is spousal resources, so this is a part of the sky that shows you fighting for money, then you're really going to town, man. You are like, you take no prisoners. Like it's a scorched earth policy on what you deserve to get and what you're going to get in some financial battle. And this is going to be taking place perhaps January the 23rd until about January sorry about that. I'll get us back to you. January 23rd to January 30th, the whole last part of the month. Finally, let's finish up. The last story you need to know about is the good news story. Now, what kind of good news is coming your way? Well, it's probably money news, because Venus, the goddess of money, after all that battle that we're talking about, right, is going to stick the landing with information that's positive. And Venus will talk to Mercury for good news January 26th, 27th, and 28th. As the two planets are joining together in your sign. Don't even worry about it. Just trust me on that. So January 26th, 27th, 28th, good news about money, good news about your face, your nose, your teeth, your face. Good news about a job offer and you get the offer. Good news about work, a good news moment about mostly likely work, job, pets, dietary habits, maybe medical tests to do with your face. You get a biopsy and it looks good. Like, it's okay, that's just a normal mole, that kind of thing. Or the tooth, good news at the end of the day. So some good news about second house matters. Could bring you a job, could bring you a new pet, because good news, the breeder said you got a pet. Good news, because Mercury rules your pet's house here, right? Anyway, it's a good news day. And if it's good news on the financial front, the sun rules chunky money and Venus rules your fifth house. So it still brings good news to chunky money, unearned income, investments, gaming, speculation, winning, division of assets, spousal support, good news, inheritance, good news as well could come through here. So it's good money news as well coming through your sky at the end of the month. Good luck with that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications if you're new here. Channel's been really having a hard time with subs. Every December really is bad. This is the worst December I've ever had. And if this channel sinks under the algorithmic sinkhole of bad subs or something like that, the channel begins to slow down and then everything about the channel begins to crunch inward. And I don't get to keep the channel because I'm not going to put a lot of content in here if I'm not growing, because growing is growing my ad revenue, which creates my business. It's not a sub story. It's just reality. So hit that like button. But more importantly, make sure you are subscribed. I put a lot of effort into putting individual videos out each month for you. And not many astrologers still do this. If it doesn't keep working, it won't be a part of what I offer. Thank you so much. Not complaining, just asking for a favor. Everything about me, Patreon, community, Substack, everything. Getting a reading, not really, but you can find out why in the description box below this video. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.